Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
This is State of Atlanta. Woo-hoo.
Welcome back, guys. All the extra Guinness stuff. Can you guys hear all that?
The extra,
Is
the little
squealing?
Because it, does. It's like, the bubblies.
Little nitrogen extraction.
You're cheating on PBR? Oof.
Yeah, I bought a huge pack of these. Whatever. There was it was a giant case. It's like 28 of them or something.
Publix is gonna be overstocked with PBR.
Maybe.
Are you cheering on Ireland or something in the Olympics? Is that why you're rocking the Guinness?
No.
Is Ireland actually in the Olympics? They compete under the UK.
I Guinness last week too. Yeah, Ireland's in the Olympics. Yes.
Are they a real country?
Yeah.
Last time I checked,
Northern Ireland is not.
Northern Ireland, that's still owned by England.
Yep.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
But Ireland's its own thing. I don't know. I don't pay attention to foreign affairs.
Yeah, Belfast is UK, and then everything else is not.
Belfast. That sounds like a Scandinavian, or no, like a Eastern Europe country.
Nope, Northern Ireland.
My knowledge here. Anyhow, all right. You guys have a good week, good weekend, good time.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what I did. Drugs, I think.
So yes,
y'all saw some movie, right? Or one of you did at least.
I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and it was awesome. But no one else has seen it here, I don't think. So,
thumbs up. You don't have to care about anything. You can still watch it.
Or fantastic, hilarious. If you just like gratuitous fight scenes and foul language, and it was the highest opening rated R movie of all time, beating out Deadpool 1, which was the highest grossing rated R movie.
I can't believe they threatened to make it like PG-13, and then we were just talking about pulled the funding and all that stuff too. It's like, man, guys, this is solid gold.
Yeah, I saw. We can talk about it in last call. Anyhow, we'll talk about Georgia State stuff if there's anything to talk about.
Okay. I don't know if there's anything to talk about. I thought we were just stretching bullshit.
So we have done this. This is the 258th consecutive weekly episode of State of Atlanta, and I've always found something to talk about, that involved Georgia State or the Panthers or the sports and the college sports in general. This is a stretch. This was a hard week. And I guess the one big news item I don't really fully understand. So I can't really speak. Well, I can never really speak as an authority on anything, but I don't know. That House settlement, House versus the NCAA settlement.
Yeah.
They filed a settlement paperwork. I don't know. So now rosters for football have been the amount of players you can have on the team has gone down. The roster size has gone down, but the number of scholarships has gone up. Before you could have 120 players, including your walk-ons, but only 85 scholarships.
Okay.
Now you can have 105 players, but all scholarships if you choose to. So a lot of people think that this is just another way for the bigger schools to hold on to more players or something. I don't know. Have you guys paid attention to this all? Do you have any idea?
Not this part of it. I didn't know anything happened. I guess with any of what was going on. So it's done deal. Like,
what I read was the settlement paperwork had been submitted. I think that means that everyone's in agreement. So it's going to happen. It just hasn't been signed off on yet. But it's not just football. It also affects baseball, softball, all the sports. The roster sizes have all changed. Baseball is now 34, softball is 25, volleyball 18, basketball 15. But they're allowing you to partition your scholarships. Like before, baseball was notorious about doing partial scholarships, but football, basketball was it was either a full scholarship or no scholarship at all. So now you can split them up however you want. You can give partial scholarships to the football players. Basketball players let the NIL pay the difference if they want to.
That seems some interesting accounting they'll be doing.
But there's more to it as well. There's now it approves revenue sharing. And conferences and schools can just decide to either opt in or opt out of revenue sharing with the players.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's if you're a P4 program, you have to do revenue sharing. There's no question about it. But G5 teams and conferences get to decide whether they want to do it. And this isn't going to affect until next athletic year, so 2025 season. So 12 months to figure out whether or not they want to do revenue sharing.
I can't see many G5s doing that. Can you?
Yeah, how many have the extra money to go around to do that kind of stuff, right?
Well, I mean, if it's a check for $20 or something, like it might not be a whole lot.
We can give you DeVita's pizza every week.
It's almost insulting, if it's like, all right, we're gonna do revenue sharing. You get your $350 after every game. It's not really gonna be worth it a lot. So
yeah, I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see which G5 programs are able to do something like that. And one thing I don't know is if it's got to be all in on the conference or not. Can there be schools within a single? Could Georgia State do this, but then the rest of the Sun Belt not do it, or how does that work? I think it's by school. I don't think the full conference has to make a decision.
I mean, that'd be terrible. You'd have like ULM that can't do it, and the whole conference can't do it.
Maybe you could close up some of these schools, or some of these schools leave our conference.
No, I mean ULM should just go to FCS. I mean that's where they're at this point. They are have-nots. They have no budget. Like you're FCS, y'all. I don't know why you insist on not being
hanging around because they're still getting more money from the Sun Belt than they would get in an FCS conference.
It makes me feel better because we're not the last place team.
I think we still. We always talk crap about Monroe, but I think we do have a losing record to Monroe. We've definitely lost the last 2 games to them.
That really hurts to know.
And Bama's record, right, is like losing record too? No, I'm just.
Well,
they have one loss against them. I don't know how many other ones.
Monroe did beat Bama the last time they played, and it was a Nick Saban coached Bama team.
Yeah.
I think it was his very first year.
Yeah, that's what I was referring
to.
I don't know how often they've played them.
Weren't they coming out of their? They were coming out of their penalty. Their ban. That was like that was his first season. Was their first year out of their whatever ban they had.
I don't really care. There's not really an excuse for an SEC team to lose to ULM.
It's pretty bad.
Like none of
them. It's like the lowest. That's got to be the lowest of lows.
Especially even like Alabama. Even a Bama on probation with a postseason ban, like their second string should be able to beat Monroe without skipping a beat.
Like that's really why Saban became a really good coach. Like he got that one beating by ULM. He was like, no,
not again, never
again.
He entered an 80s style montage for like how to train to be a coach. And like he went in and he went all the way and was like, "We're doing this."
So we have Monroe to thank of the whatever, like the 6 national championships.
Yes, it's all. Yeah, and every night Saban looks up at him and he's like, "ULM, the one."
Little did we know that Monroe was the reason why Bama was so dominant for all those years. God damn you, Monroe!
Freaking terrible.
This is another interesting thing in the little settlement deal was what they say phony NIL money is now prohibited per the settlement. Boosters can no longer give an athlete $500,000 to attend school somewhere. They can give NIL money, but the athlete must perform services that actually match the money earned.
What's that mean?
What kind of services?
Hey,
so like being a spokesperson type of thing, or like
I think so. I think that's what I see it as. Like a car dealership. You're not going to give the guy $500,000. You got to actually show up for commercials and get paid, or something like that. Or
So what you're saying is the way NIL was meant to be. This is what he's doing,
right? I guess
it's dumb. Just give the kids the money. That's all.
They're still gonna get the money. I'm not worried about that at all.
It's gonna be tough for coaches to kind of control all this. I mean, it's still Wild West. I mean, you look at Georgia; they're having all kinds of problems with players getting pulled over for drunk driving, reckless driving. Like
the NFL has basically their own type of Uber something where you can. There's any player can just call a certain number they all get. And there'll be somebody to pick them up and drive them home. Like Georgia has enough money to just have somebody in Athens to just drive them home whenever
the football team Uber service.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm sure they have in Athens, but racing is a lot of fun. So
I was gonna say kids are kids. Probably don't do it down the middle of like the downtown Athens streets. Find somewhere else.
They did. Then they died out there.
Oh shit. That's right. That's sad.
Yeah.
Take him to like an airport drag strip. Let him do it on there.
Or
less chance of dying, maybe. I don't know.
Well, there's like no threat if they're in Athens. Like, all right, so if I do something bad, like I'm still gonna play on Saturday. Like they're not. It's like they're not really risking their chance of not playing.
I think
like
you
Spurrier.
could do something bad enough to, but like they're not quite rising to that.
There's a limit.
It is weird how many problems they're having over there. Like it's just been
with the racing specifically. It seems like speeding around in cars is like what they want to do. Like this specific team.
When you start giving 20-year-olds, hundreds of thousands of dollars and
Ferraris
free leases on sports cars and stuff like that, they're going to kind of start just racing around small college towns.
Weird.
Who would have thought that would be a problem?
Maybe just give them money and not the car.
Yeah,
they can.
The car's probably cheaper than the money.
All right.
Think about it. Well, think about it from for a school like a Georgia or a Bama or something like that. If you have a car dealership and you're like, all right, we're going to give for the season, we're going to give the starting quarterback. Who's the quarterback of Georgia? I don't even know.
I don't know.
The guy graduated, like the good guy. I don't know. We're going to give the quarterback of Georgia this car as a lease, free lease.
Carson Beck. You're talking about Carson Beck.
Whatever.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna give you this car for 6 months, 12 months, 8 months, whatever it is, and then you have that car on your lot, and you're like, hey, you can now buy the car that Carson Bennett was driving for the entire season and probably had some loving memories in. And people probably still pay money for a
we didn't even
car.
wash it.
Do you know what he did in his car? It's authentic.
Like there may be some DNA in here. You can scrape up and create your own Carson Bennett.
Back.
What? I don't know. I when I talk about I don't know about programs outside of Georgia State. I really don't know about programs.
I'm just thinking. They create all these new rules, all the ins and outs of NIL and how things can be spent. Like how much does each school have to spend on compliance, like just making sure everything's okay? And why
they have to
at some point? Why not just be like, why do we have to make all these rules around it? Like, just give the kid money.
Just pay the compliance people to shut up. Just keep giving.
They probably already do that too. So what are we hiding here? Like just give them the money.
Honestly, I would assume the schools figure it's cheaper to deal with all these regulations and rules and stipulations than it is to actually make the players employees and have them unionized and then have to really pay them legit money.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Is that how they've gotten away from because I know there's been attempts to unionize by players in the past, but do they get around it because they're you're not even employees? What are you talking about?
I believe so.
Super close to being employees, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think part of this is also that they will not be established as employees of the university. There's also part of the NIL deal is the third-party NIL. I guess that's just people giving money directly to players, not through the collective or whatever. Any deal over $600 must be approved by the NCAA. And one, why is $600 this arbitrary number? Where did you come up with that? And two, there's gonna be a lot of checks being written for $599.
I'm gonna give you a check $599 every day. Don't you worry.
That should be an entire collective. It's called the 599 Club.
You should.
Well, I gave $599, and Denver gave $599, and Lizzie gave $599.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see what else I got. Schools can actually elicit NIL deals for players. I think that was one of the deals originally was the school could not be involved in the NIL at all, not officially involved, and now they can be.
You can be agents for the players. I like it. Sure, why not?
Yeah. And then there's some just arbitrary infraction stuff.
How does it benefit the G5? Does anything benefit us?
I don't know. I think that the roster size, you could probably make an argument for and against. From what I've read online, most people feel like it's a benefit to the top programs and hurts the lower programs because there's just more talent with the roster size, the full scholarship ride available. That's just more people that the bigger programs can put on their rosters and get there and that will never play. So it's fewer people for the G5 programs. I can see that. I don't know. I'm stretching to think of an advantage for the G5 programs. because it's just more money.
We get to pay money to fund the settlement.
Yeah, the G5 programs are paying that settlement for the P4 programs as well.
Is it still like the weird split? We're paying like 70%, some crazy high number,
something weird like that. I think the top's paying like 23%, and then the rest gets filtered out amongst the other conferences. So
we're the ones that caused all the mess. We should pay for it.
Yeah, it's us. Like, yeah, because that rubber stamp that all the G5 conference commissioners, like the big programs, like we want to do this, we want to do that, and the G5 commissioners are like, go for it. Well, just as long as we get to stick around for the ride, and now they're sticking them with the bill for everything.
Well, you stuck around, so now you got to pay.
Yeah, the P4 programs are like that friend when you're going out, and I say, hey, you get the Uber, and then I'll Venmo you the money, and so you pay for the Uber, and that they never ever send you the money back.
Pretty much, that happens all the time.
All right, what else we got? Actually, we're done on that. That's like I don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah,
we're happy.
Okay, cool.
No,
sure. Here's some total BS topics to talk about. Some guy on Reddit did some simulations for the entire college football games for the entire season. And so Georgia State, he has going 5-7 in the season, which is beating the Vegas spread. I think, or over under was 4.5. I think is what Vegas said, right? But here's the weird thing. So I'm looking at it, and he has Georgia State going 5-7 with one conference win. That's the game at Marshall on that Thursday night, which means, and I verified it through his game by game, it means we beat Tech and Vandy. So he thinks that his little simulation says that we go perfect in the out of conference. We beat Tech and we beat Vandy, but then we can only muster a single win against Marshall in conference. I think a Georgia State team that can beat Vandy and Tech wins more than one game. We still have Old Dominion on the schedule. We still have Arkansas State on the schedule. Trash down south. Those should be not as hard teams as Vandy and Tech.
That's a pretty crazy prediction.
Again, it's just simulation.
I don't hate it. I mean, if we're going to be 5-7 no matter what, do you prefer that 5-7, or do you prefer losing a lot of the out of conference and winning the conference games?
What was the TDS one on in both cases?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say, Ryan. If we're going to go 5-7 with only one conference win, let's make that game TDS. And then I'm not happy with it at all. Not happy about it at all, but that's you get that feather in the cap on beating Tech, feather in the cap on beating another SEC team, even if it is Vandy. But
and then
I don't know.
Tech beats Georgia, and then we say we're the best team in Georgia.
No. That's way not likely because Tech's not beating Georgia.
No,
I think we talked about this before, but I can't remember because I was drinking. Do we want Tech coming into our game having beaten Florida State, or do we want them having lost?
I don't really care either way, win or lose. I mean, I'd rather have them come into our game having beaten Florida State so they're all fat and happy, right? They think they're like the bee's knees. Oh my God, Tech's back. I heard that 5 years ago.
They're not bees, Tim.
Well, they shouldn't have
beehive.
They shouldn't have beehive designs all over their stupid stadium.
True.
If Georgia Tech beats Florida State,
that's what I was opening you up for, Tim. I knew what you were saying.
If Tech beats Florida State in week 0 and we beat Tech in week 1, does that mean we're immediately in the top 25?
No, we're national champions, like Florida State is.
All right.
I mean, it's either this year or next year. You know, I mean,
I do like the fact that we have 2 years to accomplish it. It's not,
it's like, if we miss it this year, it's like, that's what 2025 meant next year.
We meant 2025 season, not 2025 calendar championship day. Yeah. What do you think, Ryan? You think that it makes more that going into playing Tech? Do you want to play them coming off a loss or coming off a win against Florida State?
I don't care. I think we're in pretty good shape because they're traveling so far. It's hard to say. I think no matter what, they're overlooking us a little bit. I'm sure. Because we're like, kind of a bottom tier G5 program at this point, like as far as performance on the field is gone. And so, I mean, I think it makes sense that they would look past us no matter what. And they're going to be tired.
Do you think the proximity of the two schools actually plays a factor for those players and the coaches at all? Do you think that they're like that they maybe if it was another G5 program, they would be overlooking us, but because we're a mile and a half down the road, that it has a little bit more importance for them, or like so many of their players from not from Georgia, not from Atlanta, they don't even know that state's that close.
Well, there's gonna be people who have like been on the same team before, I'm sure, because we both recruit heavily in Georgia, despite
now.
I mean, regardless, we still have recruited heavily in Georgia. Like we still have a lot of Georgia boys.
Ish.
Not as many as y'all would like, but we still have a bunch. And I do think that it'll matter a little bit more to them, but I still think that they're gonna be like, whatever. We're gonna win. Like it doesn't really matter.
I think they don't want to get embarrassed mainly. I think they understand that if they lose, they will be embarrassed, and it is in the city of Atlanta by another school right down the street. Like I think the embarrassment factor would be sky high for that.
Yeah, and I think what we typically do is come out against teams like that where they think that they're overlooking at us, and we punch them in the mouth with our starters. And then in the second half, it sort of starts going downhill as our starters rotate out, as depth starts becoming a thing, and they start saying, "Shit, we got to take this more seriously. That this team actually showed up. This Georgia State team isn't what we thought they were." And that's typically what we see when we're playing these big programs. So we'll probably see something like that again, and we just got to hope that they keep on stumbling.
Yeah, I do like that. Win or lose, I like that they have a game before us, a chance for McGee and the players to see what they're doing out there, whether they win or lose. Obviously, I think it's better for Georgia State to win the game had Georgia Tech played Florida State, and coming off of a big loss on a big trip like that, may fire the Tech players up more. I don't know, but I'd love to see us beat Tech, who had just beaten Florida State. That would be fantastic. That would be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they play their game, I guess, that night, and they don't fly out, I would assume, until Sunday.
Yeah, I doubt they're flying out after the game.
No. So, I mean,
Dublin.
They have 5 days to prepare. That's it.
Yeah, and with a jet lag,
And with the jet lag, yeah.
Yeah. Right where you want them, guys.
They might forget how to play football. I don't know.
Yeah, I will say coming off a win would be more better. I was going to say more glorious, but you want the teams that you play out of conference to do well, right, in their season. So the only other team I wouldn't want them to beat is UGA for reasons. But I want them to win every single other game besides those two.
So David, what do you want? Do you want them to win or lose?
Given that we're going to win the game, I want to see them coming off a win against Florida State. Yeah, that's what I want. I know. Do I think that the odds are in our favor? If they get exposed by Florida State and they just look like garbage, maybe that means we have a better shot at winning. I don't know, but I'd like to see them win and then us then we beat them. So
I was looking at my email, and did we already know that the school had tailgate plans?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about it
last week. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. I just went through the email like just now, and I was like, I think a lot of this is already news that we heard.
No, I don't think we talked about it on the podcast. I think we talked about it just individually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They I guess Georgia State alumni tailgate looks like it's going to be for 2 hours before the game on what is it? It's Tech Green.
Tech Green again? Which
I thought it was 5 to 8. Did they?
Oh yeah, 5 to 8. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, one of them said 5 to 8 up top, and then 5 to 7.
7. I know. Yeah, there you go. Georgia State it all the way.
Yep. And then we'll have the kickoff luncheon in both the Center Park Stadium and in the Convocation Center simultaneously. So
yeah, I don't think I'm going to do either of those.
No, I don't know. I need to find out whether or not how close. I would like to actually have our tailgate close to the alumni tailgate, just to get more of a concentration of Georgia State fans. But I don't know if Tech Green is open to just anybody that wants to set up there.
I wonder if there's anyone on our side that we can just be like, "Hey, we saw you got this put together. Like, how do we do it?"
I don't know
somebody we can talk to.
Everyone's quit or moved to different roles. I don't know anybody anymore.
I know. Like I know. Just call up Coach AD McGee.
have him set it up for us. Be like, hey, this is what we want to do. He'll be like, all right, how much money are you
we
gonna
need a spot right nenext to these people.
give? How much are you donating to the NIL? Then he'll get it working for us.
$5 a piece.
$5.99.
$5.99. Nobody has to explain a thing.
Yeah. All right. So I was checking ESPN's Football Power Index, which apparently has been updated recently, and it has us being better than 6 teams on our schedule. So that's 6 wins. Has us better. Well, they don't rate Chattanooga, but it's got us better than Trash Down South, Old Dominion, UConn, Arkansas State, and Coastal. If you put any faith into that kind of crap, but that's nice, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I said, guys, I'm stretching here. I'm stretching to find things.
We were joking before the podcast that tomorrow they're gonna drop some huge news.
We're moving conferences tomorrow.
Yeah,
yeah, because we're recording a day early. Because Ryan's flying out or going somewhere he's not going to be in town tomorrow, so we're recording a day early. And yeah, we'll get all the goodie. We'll drop tomorrow morning after this comes out. So expect
it'll be the one time they drop major news on a Tuesday.
Expect Tim and I to hop back on here tomorrow night and do this all over again.
I've already given my blessing that if it's a conference change or what was the other thing, a game with UGA. I've given my blessing to have
home game with UGA.
Yeah, I've given my blessing that they can come back on and do an episode without me. I might even just call in or something.
Special guest appearance. I like it.
I was reading through the message boards, just the general message boards, and somebody posted their prediction, what's going to happen with all of the realignment and everything going forward. And normally I would not even say anything about this particular post because it's completely just fantastical. But in the first sentence, he has Georgia State joining the Pac-16 as a member of the East Division. Yeah. So this is what his predicted Pac-16 East Division is. UTSA, North Texas, Rice, Tulane, Memphis, Missouri State, USF, and Georgia State. And I know this is never going to happen, but I like that division so much better than the one we're in right now. Missouri State's weird.
I was gonna say Missouri State. I'm like, can we swap?
They're not even
for someone.
They haven't even joined FBS yet. Like they announced they're going to be joining FBS, but it won't even start till next year.
Come on over the Pac. We'll let you.
They've been flirting with FBS longer than a lot of other programs, though. I feel like their name has been popping up as at least as long as ours.
Well, they are joining Conference USA.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it feels like one of those schools that has been mentioned. Like every time there's a call up opportunity, Missouri State's always there.
Right. They were the next on deck for sure. For sure. So I don't know. Georgia State. That actually somebody in the message thread or whatever was talking about the thing. He's like, dude, the guys got Georgia State going to the Pac. This was obviously not a serious post at all.
Oh,
like, yeah. Thanks.
Way to crash our fantasy parade.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like that division. It would have been a lot more fun than what we have now.
Bad. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad. I'll go to Missouri State.
Replace Missouri State with UAB.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
It'd
be all about
be a
that.
lot better.
I'm surprised UAB wasn't on there and you like it.
Oh, yeah. What was that? Well, we got Memphis on there. So that kind of makes up for it.
All right. That's fair. Okay, I got it.
USF isn't too shabby either. I mean, they're kind of
USF would be because USF's all the talk right now being that next call up to the P4. There's talk about Big 12 adding them, or if Florida State does leave ACC, USF being the Florida replacement, especially if Florida State and Miami leave. So, yeah, USF and Memphis would be. I mean, out of that, yeah, for sure, Memphis and USF. I guess Tulane are probably the better programs out of there to be associated with.
Yeah.
Rice, they got a lot of money, but they lose a lot, so they'd be a good team to be able to beat regularly.
Your favorite doormat. They're the ULM of the Pac, whatever.
Nothing's going to be as bad as Monroe. I mean, Missouri State would be.
probably still be better.
It'd probably still be better. They're not in Louisiana.
Well, that's true.
All right. Last thing, I forgot about this. I meant to talk about this earlier because this is Georgia State news. Did y'all see this Blue Line initiative?
The Blue Line.
Yeah. Did you see this, Ryan?
Oh, how wide is this line?
It's wider than the lines you're used to, and blue.
That's not what I meant. I was making a thin blue line joke.
No, it's basically just I guess for the most part, it just sounds like really branding campus as Georgia State, and putting up a lot of making it obvious when you're driving through there and you see all the kids, all the students walking around between classes. You can tell that it actually is Georgia State. They're going to be plastering Georgia State signage everywhere, having
Cool.
Dedicated walkways at like 3.7 miles of
More
walking
lighting,
path.
right? Like better lighting instead of
Better lighting, defined quad areas. Was it like just 5 or 6 different quad areas they had defined? Just kind of making it look like, I guess, kind of like what Tech looks like when you drive through their campus, and it looks like you're actually on a college campus, which I think would be great.
I mean, they're already leaps and bounds better than even when I was in school. Like I drive through campus all the time, just getting home. What's that, Tim?
I mean, easily way better than we were in school.
Yeah,
for sure,
night and day.
I mean, if you look at pictures of like the school decades ago versus now as well, like it was like this walled off thing. Like you could go in and be like a fortress from the city or something. It felt very. And it seems like those walls have been coming down, and that maybe this is like sort of the last touch to like a major plan to sort of make it feel like campus throughout, which is cool. It's like the last little bits.
The one thing they did not do that I think would have really helped out is this blue line does not really encompass Summer Hill or the athletic facilities at all. That's this is just the downtown.
You jump on that BRT to get down the other blue line.
BRT, man, is that thing going to work?
There's no road at this point, so they've torn up that road like 10 times.
The best part about this project is if they just completely shelf it and then leave the road the way it is.
Oh my god, I'll be so angry.
It'd be the ultimate government thing.
I mean, the streetcar has been an absolute joke, but I feel like the streetcar would be better for Georgia State and Summer Hill than BRT, the bus.
Whoa, these BRTs will be streetcars. They're just going to put a facade on the side. So
they're just going to have gas and wheels and ride on asphalt.
You feel like it's streetcar. It just stops at traffic lights and gets in traffic. Well, the streetcar does that too.
I want the old school trolleys they had back in the day, like you saw in San Francisco, where people just jumped on them while they're still moving.
Yeah,
get some make some real danger in the whole thing.
It used to be in Summer Hill. We got old pictures of it, the old trolley line.
It used to be down my neighborhood. The road at the block is called the Trolley Line Trail. It used to be trolleys that would take all the workers into the city back in the day, but not anymore. That's why the roads were so small, because it was just a trolley line thing, and now you can barely fit 2 cars through it.
Yeah, and people still park. It's still street parking too. It's like
it's
on both sides. You're like, come on, guys.
Yeah, my side mirrors love it. So
I feel like we're long overdue to I know we're not going to have a campus ever, right? Because we're threaded through the city, and there's academic buildings, commercial buildings, office buildings, and whatnot. But I think we have a good chance to kind of really solidify where Georgia State is. I mean, I felt like Hurt Park should have always been literally our center, which it is now, right? And then the Woodruff Park too. I mean, always walk through there to go over to Adderhold. I feel like this is the opportunity for Georgia State to really show this is our campus. You're on.
Yeah, and that was actually something that was discussed about when this came out. It was just discussed on Panther Talk. I forget who said it, but they were talking about if all of Summer Hill, all of the parking lots that we have over there do get fully developed and get rid of all that parking, actually set it up such that people are tailgating for games in Hurt Park, and then is walking or taking the BRT, I guess,
or a bus. Just have a Georgia State.
That's a long tailgate. No thanks. Hard pass.
You're out of that one. That's too much.
They better close half a road or something. We can tailgate on one side. I don't know.
Right. Yes, I think that'd be the idea. And I think that you really can't close off roads for just we're talking about game day. I'm talking about to the blue line deal. The real best scenario is actually being able to close off roads within downtown to kind of create that real campus feel, and that's just not going to happen. You just can't do it. You would.
Cortland is like a major artery through the city.
Exactly.
That's what I take to go home from downtown.
That is the shortcut, right? To stay off the highway.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Don't kill that. We need it.
It'd be cool to see. I don't know how often I'll be going through campus any longer now that basketball's moved off out of the sports arena. I guess going to a beach volleyball game or something like that. maybe they've only been to one of those ever. So,
Yeah.
all right. That's all I've got, guys. I don't know if you have anything
Hey
else.
man, 35 minutes on a week that was we didn't think we had anything. That's pretty good.
We are a very happy campus. That's one thing, right? That came out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a happy campus. We're like in the top 20 or something.
I forgot all about that. You're right, Tim. Yeah, some ranking came out. I don't know how they did it, but what were we? What number were we?
Like 8, 9, 7. I don't know, somewhere in there.
Out of what? 10?
Single digits?
Out of 20. We're in the single digits, Ryan. This is real shit.
This is across all
Let's see if I can find it.
FBS universities. Because like
FBS,
Arizona
okay.
State.
That's what I was wondering.
Number 4, Ryan. We're in the top 5.
Out of all FBS universities, is that right?
It just says 14 colleges with the happiest freshmen.
Oh.
Yeah, happiest freshman, which is actually kind of surprising because I feel like freshmen get scared a lot at Georgia State.
I know.
No way, man.
We beat out
freshman learning community.
We beat out Yale.
No
Come
shit.
on.
So it's not
they
just
like
FBS.
they like live on stress, you know.
I know. Abilene Christian. Watch out.
Where are they better than us?
No, they're below us. And Princeton's below us too. They're 14th.
Screw
freshmen are freaking happy. They must be getting money. Good for them.
They already have it.
Or they're already high as they walk through campus. So, yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. Tim, take us home.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. If you like what you heard or you didn't, consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/State of Atlanta. You'll get early live streaming access, free drinks at tailgates, discounts on our sweet merch that Ryan is, no, he's not wearing, David's wearing, and more. It's only $5 to be a friend of the show. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace. All right.